That's dope.
Appreciate it.
Are y'all listening to this man? Because it's not a lot like you. You know what I'm saying? And if that was to happen, right? What would have been like? Okay, I can't play. So, what would have been next for you? Did you have a second option, or was that your only option?
It wasn't no second option. It was just my life was football. I'm gonna make it to the college. I'm gonna make it to the NFL. Outside of that, it was the streets.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't been to the streets. You know, that's what that was going on around there. You know, that was the main thing to do.
Gotta go today. What?
Sir, you cannot.
They can record all they want.
So you need to go to a lawyer.
They can record all they want. They getting out today.
I can hear that, right? So you need to get a record.
Call, these are aid or anything. Y'all gotta go today. The thing is, I gave you a place to stay, and you ain't have no place to stay. You know what I mean?
But no.
What's up with this? No. You all right, man?
What?
All right.
You
Get him?
Double murder now faces a new charge. Wilson police added a second charge for attempted murder for Dante Chestnut, as he accused of shooting 4 people yesterday.
You know, the thing about life is that you never really know what a person is going through. You never know the pressure of life, past demons or hidden struggles that might make somebody snap. And sometimes the very people we celebrate as examples of growth and change can end up shocking us the most. Fam, in today's video, we talk about a man who seemed to have had it all together. A man who from the outside looking in was doing all the right things. He was pushing forward, creating opportunities, and even giving back to his community.
Right.
Now you'll later find out that this was someone who faced setbacks, used those same obstacles to build himself into what many saw as a role model. To his supporters, man, he represented hope, redemption, and even the possibility of a better tomorrow. But beneath that image, life was still testing him. Personal battles, broken dreams, and the everyday weight of responsibility were stacking up. And as we've seen time after time again, when the wrong buttons are pressed, even the strongest looking individual can find themselves on the edge. What happens in a moment can change lives forever. Today we're going to unpack this man's journey, the ups and the downs, the choices that shaped his path, and the turn of events that left people questioning everything they thought they knew about him. This isn't just about one man. It's about how fragile the line between progress and downfall really is. But before we go over this, I want you guys to remember, I won't give you no angle. I just give you the story. So with that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We'll jump right to it. Fam, today we're going to North Carolina, Wilson, which is a city in eastern North Carolina, about an hour east of Raleigh. It's the county seat of Wilson County, with a population of around 47,000 and 50,000 residents. Known historically as the world's greatest tobacco market because of its big role in the tobacco industry. The median household income is around 47,000, lower than state average. Poverty rate, roughly around 20% of the residents live below the poverty line. Wilson has a crime rate above national average, particularly for the violent crime and poverty crime. Like many small mid-cities in North Carolina, it has struggled with issues tied to poverty, gangs, and drugs, but also has community programs trying to push back against violence. And that's where the local native Dante Chestnut come in. Now 39 years old, this is a man who grew up with his mom and grandmother, but at the age of 11, his mom had passed away, which you'll later hear him talk about. His best memories is with his grandmother and great-grandmother. Growing up, Dante was considered an athlete. That's all he knew, football, basketball, and track. But unfortunately, things didn't go as planned. And then he found hope. After his god brother was shot and killed, he founded his first nonprofit, Al Wilson. According to him, they say he hoped to give young people better opportunities. In 2011, he was indicted for assaulting a police officer with his brother. But it seemed he took it to
assaulting a police officer? Bruh. Why you assault? He probably hit him, or he probably just got in his face and being all aggressive with him.
Trial, and he was found not guilty. In 2020, he ran for city councilman, and he go in depth about the things we just discussed. It was a 2-hour interview. I watched the entirety and managed to get 12 minutes of the important clips. Check it out.
Right.
Walking down Goldsboro Street, like 30 deep, on some Martin Luther King type vibe.
Yeah.
You had on your tie and all this. We was just had your signs. Like, we went hard for that run.
Definitely. You know, that was a learning experience though for, to prepare for now.
Right.
So yeah, so I appreciate y'all loyalty too, you know, and just going hard with me, you know, because it's for us,
Right.
you know.
Right. But you say it's for us, and you are for the people.
Right.
Because you actually have a mentor group, our Wilson.
Right.
What made you get into that? Because you talked to me about your nonprofit organization for a while. What was that process, and tell them exactly what you have going on.
With the our Wilson mentoring, you know, I went to school for sociology, and that was at St. Paul's College, and I had a mentoring program there. I was the youth director at the SYEP program for social service in Brunswick County in Virginia, and we had about 300 students, and I had like 6 counselors up under me, and you know, we made a difference there. And then I was feeling like, man, it's okay to do it here, but I want to move back home
to your own city
and really make a difference in my city. So you know, that's what happened with that, and that was my plan when I first moved back. But I seen what happened to my brother, and at the time I was hurt.
Which one?
CEO.
Of course. I didn't know if you was talking about K-hyphen or because we done lost a lot of good people.
Definitely.
That's been around us.
So with that, and then it was like, man, maybe we can make a difference to make sure this don't happen again. You know, and we could have flipped out, you know, and all of that type stuff, but it was best to channel that energy into something positive.
Right.
You know? So that's what that was right there.
And I think that was a great idea, especially for the kids. I be seeing all the different things that you be doing with the kids. He have an after school program. Kids just doing everything. You had different speakers coming in talking to them. I actually saw the mayor came.
Yeah, the mayor support.
You just had different people that come help you.
Yeah.
And it's good to have a team like that.
Definitely, man. And like we teach them how to change oil.
I saw that.
David Taylor, shout out to him, and shout out to
David. He play a major part too.
Yeah, man. Kia, Ebony, you know, Kwani, Skip. It's so many of them. I don't want to leave no names out.
Right.
You know, but teaching them boxing, teaching them wrestling, teaching them how to paint. You know, and it's just a blessing because them kids might be able to use them skills one day as they get older and be their own entrepreneur, you know?
Right, because there's a lot of things that you might teach them that school might not.
Right, and that was the goal, like teach them life skills.
Right, you know? Life skills, survival, pretty much. I think that's dope. How was it for you growing up? For you to be so humble and you're so smart. Like how was that for you growing up?
It was rough a little bit, you know, but you know, it was pretty good. You know, my grandmother raised me. My mother, she had passed, you know, and you know, my great grandmother, they was like hustlers. You know?
Cause I remember you telling me stories about your grandmother, and you were like a reflection of her. Cause she used to do parties.
Yeah.
She used to take the kids to Emerald Point on buses and stuff like that.
Yep.
And then you followed in her footsteps.
Yeah, that was a goal that I wanted to accomplish all the years. Like she did it, I want to be able to do. I wanted to do it with her. She like, nah, I'm getting too old now. These kids getting rough. They different from back then, you know. So
yeah, they are.
Bro,
I made it my goal to really make it happen.
Bro, you know, she ain't lying though. But we got the YNs out now, bro. Tripping, starting fights and making everything crazy. And she too old to be doing all that, you know. Can't blame grandma for that, man. Grandma getting to a point.
But man, and shout out to the rest of the team, and shout out to Mr. Ken Fortnite, you know, cause he supported and you know, donated the help seeing about 20 kids to Emerald Point, man. So that was a blessing right there, you know.
That's what's up.
So y'all.
And you have a book.
Yeah, I have a book coming out.
You talked about stepping on a nail.
Oh yeah, when I was.
And doctors, they wanted to cut your foot off.
Yeah, when I was around like 8 years old.
What happened?
When we was younger, you know, I was with the older guys, you know, so it was like, you know, that was running from the police. You know, and I end up.
What he basically saying, bro, is he was being a follower, not with the older guys. He was just being a follower. Everything that people that was bigger than him say to do, he was like, all right, bet, let's just do it. It's different, you know, like follower, because he ain't really had like no guy, no man, no dad to guide him for real. So that's what that is, chat.
I was just around him, and I jumped out of an abandoned house, and stepped on a rusty nail, you know, and like I went to the hospital and my foot had turned gangrene, and then my mother, you know, they were talking about cutting my foot off, and my mother like, nah, you ain't cutting my baby foot off. I'm gonna take a chance with that, you know. So, you know, it was a blessing that she did. You know, she said that, so I'm happy. You know,
especially at 8 years old.
Yeah, man. I remember looking down at my foot and it was looking like neon green. You know, so that was a challenge right there. I'm glad she, you know, said no, because I wouldn't have been able to play football.
Right. Well, talking about your mom,
Mm-hmm.
she passed away when you were 11.
Yeah, around that age.
How did that affect you, especially being 11? Because I lost my brother when I was 11, and it, you know, it affected me for a long time. How was the effect for you?
It was hurtful. You know, at the time it happened, like my aunt and my big brother, you know, they had knew already that it had happened, but they ain't really know how to tell me. So she told my brother Bootsy to tell me. And when I woke up, he was like, yo, let me talk to you. He was like, man, your mom had passed last night, you know, but I need you to be strong for the family. You know, if they see you cry, they gonna be crying, you know, so I need you to be strong. So
I'm guessing it was probably a lot of pressure on you because you had to act tough, but it hurt.
Yeah, you know, right then I was tough, but I ran to my room and he like, man, I got you, man. Like, hold your head up. Like, you gotta just make her proud. You know, everything that you do, you know, with the basketball, the football, you just gotta go harder and just make her proud and look down on you. You know, that's how everything gonna be okay. You know, so I took his advice and it helped me out a lot. You know, shout out to him.
And
too.
I was about to get into your sports. You played football.
Yeah.
Or you played all sports.
I played all sports: football, basketball, ran track. I played soccer too, and I coached basketball at high school.
And you also have a league in Wilson right now.
Yeah, semi-pro football.
So it kept going.
Yeah, you know, that was against the fight game when I was playing at Hunt. You know, that was around like 03. But I had went to the hospital and the doctor said you won't be able to play no more.
So if that was to happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
What would have been like? Okay, I can't play. So, what would have been next for you? Did you have a second option, or was that your only option?
It wasn't no second option. It was just my life was football. I'm gonna make it to the college. I'm gonna make it to the NFL. Outside of that, it was the streets.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't been to the streets. You know, that's what that was going on around there. You know, that was the main thing to do. What you see in poverty, you know, that's what's around you. You know, so I probably would have chose that route.
Okay.
Yeah, there wasn't no good route to choose, but you know, when you don't have too many options, and when you're in Wilson, they don't give you too many options.
Well, you do got options, but like when you don't see life outside of the streets, you see life just streets and football, basketball. If you don't see your life going with college or nothing like that, then of course you don't think you got too many options, but you got a lot of options, brother. Wow.
So that's what we fighting for right now. So y'all make sure y'all vote for Chestnut, man.
Chestnut,
we're gonna give y'all all the options. We're gonna make it out of here, man.
District 2, and I believe that because you know how you
know.
Right. Let's talk about the gossip.
Okay.
Let's get to the hot stuff.
What's up?
The rumors, the gossip, the blackballing, the harassment.
Okay.
All the things that you have had to go. I done heard this man complain. Listen, I've been knowing this guy, like I said, for 13 years. We might not talk every day, but when we reach out to each other, we let it all out. Like, this going on or that going on. And you know what I'm saying? And we motivate each other and or whatnot. Mm-hmm. And within these 13 years, this man has done so many parties and hosted so many open mic events, talent shows, gave back to the community in so many different ways.
That's real.
And the police always find a way to try to stop what you got going on. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. We actually had an audio recording. Did you send it over?
Steve can probably get it.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, it's so many different audios that you recorded that I'm glad that you did record. With the police blackballing you, like stopping you from doing events, contacting different owners of establishments,
right.
Telling them not to let you have events there.
Right.
Let everyone know, like, exactly, because I'm sure it's a lot of other promoters that might be tuning in, like, that happened to me too.
Yeah, man.
So how was that for you?
For it, man. With that, you know, it was a problem. You know, it been a problem probably about 15 plus years, man. You know, Fat Daddies, that happened.
We was there. I was there.
You know, so talking to the owner, like, don't let Dante do this. We're going to shut your business down. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And then the owner come back and tell me, like, Dante, they talking about this. They talking about that. You know what I mean? Or the ALE, man, talking about this or that. You know, so I'm out here like, man, it is what it is.
But what do you think it was a specific reason? What's the reason behind it?
You know, there's many reasons. You know, we young. You know, we doing what we doing, and a lot of times we booking the police officers. You know what I mean, to protect everybody. You know, but a lot of times they be messing up money.
Exactly, because I listened to one of the audios.
Mm-hmm.
In one of the audios, the lady admitted, like, yeah, I told him he needed 6 police. Mm-hmm. And then the question was, well, when they have other events, do they have to have 6 police? Nah, they don't have to have 6 police.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and then having like 6 police 2 hours before the event,
and,
during the event, and 2 hours
after the event.
Like 2 hours before the event.
Do the calculations, right? As a promoter,
during it, 2 hours.
You know what I'm saying? If you really promoted a party and actually invested and didn't get booked for an event, that's why I just start doing bookings. Like, just book me. I really save me the headache. Man. You know what I'm saying?
But it shouldn't be like that, because that's your business, though.
Right. But if you're a real promoter and you know what you have to invest in to even have an event, if you have to pay for the building, if you have to pay for the DJ, if you have to pay for the person that's actually taking the money at the door, if you have to pay for even the extra little security there, you done spent over a couple bands or a band or two before you ain't made no money, right?
Right.
So you calculate 6 police times $250 an hour, or $150 an hour, or $100 an hour, however much an hour, but and they're there for like 6 hours.
For 4 hours extra, because it's 2 hours before
and 2 hours after plus 4 hours during the club. So that's like 8 hours. Yeah. So 8 times 6.
Man,
do the calculations.
Money, you know what I mean?
That's like $4,000 on police. You done spent 5 bands and you haven't made any money yet.
That's extortion.
That is extortion. That is ridiculous, especially if it's not called for every event.
Right. And then, you know, with that particular situation, I'm out here like, yo.
And that's where you gotta know your law. Because that's where you gotta do your research, know your law about what you can do and you can't do in certain states, and what the policies is for certain things, and you can get over it. But if you don't know your law, they don't get over on you every single time, y'all. Every single time.
Did y'all have that for the Grease concert? No, we didn't have it. You know,
that's what I listened to, and I'm like, and she stuttered a little bit. She's like, nah. Well, we never had any trouble.
Well, they the ones that called me. You know what I mean? Said they had problems with you. You know, I said, dang, they got problems with me. So, hey, it is what it is. You know, we used to it, man. Like, you know, used to it, man. So just keep it moving, you know. But there's really like a lawsuit.
It is. But you had problems with the law before. And do you think that's a reason why? And not saying that he had problems with the law like he's a bad guy, but he just had an encounter with the police. Like, the police took you to court.
Yeah.
For a situation.
Saying I look like I got a warrant,
right?
You know,
and
right
you
in front of my house, and then
they harassed Foot.
Yeah, like, yo, you look like you got a warrant, and then like I was like, man, we give out tours to the community, you know, we feed the homeless, and I looked him dead in his eyes, and he pushed me and said, "F you," and then I was like, boy, I can't hit him now, you know what I mean? But I got a freedom of speech, man. F you too, you know what I mean? Pushed me again, grabbed my brother by the head, and threw his head to the car. So with that right there, you know, we got into a little scuffle, and you know, and that happened.
I think that would have been anybody's reaction.
That's my brother. You know, I'm gonna stand up for him regardless. If they standing up for their officers, I'm gonna stand up for my brother. Yeah. That's just how we were raised. You know what I mean? Don't put your hands on my brother. He ain't do nothing. Don't put your hands on me. You know.
Right. Yeah, so I think that's anybody reaction would have been that way.
It's crazy, bro, because when they know you don't know your law, first of all, you just harassed me, you assaulted me, and you did battery to me. When you don't know your law, you can't do nothing about it because you just clueless. That's why everybody watching my videos, bro, y'all got to know your law, bro. Okay, if not, police gonna try to do any side cut, any undercut, any uppercut to get you where they want you. If y'all want to know your law, all y'all have to do is look up the Constitution. It's gonna tell you all your rights, all your laws. Look it up. It's gonna save you. Just please do it.
Put your hand on the other officer. Don't, you know what I mean? Like, it's respect, man. And then when we went to court, that's what the judge asked.
And you beat the charge.
Yeah, it was not guilty. I wasn't guilty anyway. That was in front of my house. You know?
Okay. Let's just make that clear. He was not guilty for those charges. You know what I'm saying? Because he is running for city councilman, so we're not trying to put it out there like, oh, he used to do. No, he had a reason, and he was found not guilty in that situation. And I think that was like
2011.
Yeah, but I just think that was like a great moment. Like, what?
Yeah.
Against the police? Not guilty? Like, that was major.
But no, that ain't nothing to brag about.
It's not nothing to brag about, but
I'm
saying, like, someone that was right finally got their own justice.
Right.
And didn't, you know what I'm saying?
Right, because they pushed me and said F me, you know what I mean, in front of my own house. So, you know, it just standing up for what you believe in, man. You know what I mean? If anybody else going on out there, you know, that got some of those same stories, go file a complaint. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's what we running for. You know what I mean? To stand up for our whole community. You know what I mean? If you doing wrong, you doing wrong. You know what I mean? But you out there doing, and then you black too. Mm-hmm. You feel what I'm saying? So you got an advantage on you. They gonna look at you like how you look like you got a warrant. That's what happened in court. Like, so the judge said, ma'am, how you look like you got a warrant? So she was like, it might be African American, how you dress or whatever. And the judge like, not guilty, you know.
Now, I know that was a lot, fam, but imagine going through 2 hours of this interview to bring you guys the best clips in 18 minutes. Now, each and every last one of those clips you just saw from that 2-hour interview was important to this story. Now, it's crazy that he speak on going about things the right way, like making a complaint and standing up for what's right, being in front of your home.
Right.
Just 5 years later, in September of 2025, he did the complete opposite. It seems that Dante ran out property, and one of his tenants has been struggling to pay the rent. September 15, 2025, at around 2 p.m., Dante decided to go to his home located on the 900 block of Washington Street in Wilson, North Carolina. There he was met by a mom and her son, 44-year-old Natasha Sutton and 21-year-old Avante Pender. As mentioned, Dante, now 39 years old, went to the home to record, demanding the residents to vacate. And as mentioned, this was streamed on Facebook Live.
The moment I loved.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, Albert. Let's talk about it. He went up to somebody's house. I guess he was a landlord. They wasn't paying their bills. He went up on their Facebook Live. Facebook fucking Live. He could have did a whole recording and then posted it. He did Facebook Live. Let's see what happens next, y'all.
Vacate. And as mentioned, this was streamed on Facebook Live.
They gotta go today.
Sir, you cannot.
They can record all they want.
So you need to go through a lawyer.
They can record all they want. They getting out today.
Right, you hear that, Miss Buddy, right? So you need to go get a report. Wait for the police to come.
Okay.
Okay, you can give me a call back.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Nah, we gotta start packing stuff up today, man.
I know you just have my home.
I don't give a damn about your love. You know what I mean? I don't give a damn about whoever you call, either aid or anything. Y'all gotta go today. The thing is, I gave you a place to stay, and you ain't have no place to stay. You know what I mean?
But I pay, no.
What's up with this?
No.
You alright, man?
What?
Get him? No, you just stay right up. Y'all gotta go today. Y'all gotta go today. I don't give a damn about what your lawyer say. What? Huh? Huh? No, they gotta go today. Okay.
And if y'all do not know, bro, usually you gotta give somebody 10 days to vacate. So the fact that he trying to let him go like right now, that's a power move.
Gotta go today. Gotta go today. Okay, man.
Now, we don't know what happened between that live and 5 minutes later, because local police report had indicated that gunfire had erupted, and they found 2 victims, the mom, Natasha, and their son, Avante. May they both rest in peace and love.
This nigga killed the tenant? You killed the mama and the 2 kids? The tenants, nigga? Do you not know how landlording works, nigga? What the fuck? Unless like it gotta be more than that, bro. Did somebody come out and start fighting? Did it get aggressive? What happened, bro? It gotta be more than that.
Condolences to their families. Apparently they was DOA. A third victim, 37-year-old Tiffany Fogg, was taken into the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The police are not releasing the motive, even though you heard what I just heard. Him trying to evict her and her son out their home. And you just saw the son look like he was being aggressive. We don't know if it was self-defense or not. Now we'll later speak on what the aunt's saying about her nephew allegedly did and not doing after this news clip.
Double murder now faces a new charge. Wilson police added a second charge for attempted murder for Dante Chestnut. He's accused of shooting 4 people yesterday.
And tonight we are learning more about the victims. This is Natasha Sutton and her son Avante Pender. They were killed. WRAL's Heidi Kirk spoke with their family this afternoon. Heidi, their family really wants answers.
Well, Lena, the big question that their family members who we spoke with today is why would someone shoot and kill their loved ones? And that's a question that Wilson police officers here at the department in downtown Wilson have been looking into over the last 2 days. But at this point, we still don't know what the motive was. And of course, this is something that the family would really like to know.
These photographs of Natasha Sutton and Avante Pender are some of the only living memories of this mother and son. Tatiana Rogers and Tyrone Brown say losing their mom and brother still doesn't feel real.
Your heart is ripped out of your chest.
I feel like somebody just stabbed me in my heart.
A fate they say they never would have expected.
I called my mama's phone, called my brother, and nobody answered. And then I called my cousin and she told me, something had happened to my mom and my brother. And that's when I found out that they were gone.
Now it's hard to imagine not speaking to them again, especially their mom.
We talk almost every day. I didn't get my phone call this morning.
And she's always been the backbone through everything. She's the glue. And it hurts.
They say their mom, her husband, and brother had just moved into the apartment on Washington Street. Their landlord, Dante Chestnut, is now accused of shooting them, along with their aunt. Chestnut, the founder of R. Wilson, a nonprofit built around empowering youth, is now behind bars. Neighbors tell WRAL yesterday it's something they never could have imagined from someone who did so much for his community. This family says they'll never be the same.
It hurts me to my soul. I would never be able to pick up the phone to talk to my brother, to talk to my mom. I'm truly just lost for words.
Now they're looking ahead for answers as to why.
Now, Chestnut was in court today in Wilson County. He was given no bond and is still in custody. He'll be back in court on September 30th. Heidi Kirk, WRAL News, live in Wilson County.
On the next day, Tuesday, September 17, 2025, Dante, 36-year-old sister Tiffany Chestnut, would also get arrested. Police say Tiffany picked up a piece of a broken handgun used in the murder and gave it to the suspect before he fled the crime scene and being held on a $30,000 bond. Now, because of the lack of communication that was given to the public from local authorities, people started to come up with their own explanation on why Dante allegedly did what he did. One theory was assuming that the son started to be aggressive, but once the sister was arrested, a woman had spoke up under the post, insinuating that the 21-year-old who lost his life was her nephew. She wrote, "So this is for the ones that saying my nephew threatened him. 1. If you see a grown man being aggressive with your mother, what the F would y'all do? Secondly, if you're renting your property out through someone else, why not allow them to do the necessary paperwork to get them out? His should have never been over there to begin with if you have hired someone else to rent out your property. My sister and nephew didn't deserve this over a ragged-ass house. Now y'all argue with your mamas." Most importantly, once again, we do want to say rest in peace to the victims and love and condolences to you guys' families.
Because nobody deserves that no matter what happens.
Anyone who was affected by the story we just talked about. At the end of the day, to say 2 people lost their lives and almost 3 over unpaid rent is ludicrous. The story is a reminder that you never really know what someone is carrying behind that smile, the speeches, or the reputation. You can see the good, the progress, the community work, but all it takes is one moment, one decision for everything to flip upside down. And while the headlines might focus on the tragedy, the real reason here is about how fragile the line really is. From role model to cautionary tale, from hero to headline. It can all happen in the blink of an eye. So remember, fam, please protect your peace, protect your energy. And don't ever assume that because someone looks like they got it all figured out, that the battle inside isn't still raging. Because sometimes it's the ones we least expect who end up shocking us the most. Let me know how you guys feel about this one. This was the story of a man who was considered a community leader, was on a local